Hello and welcome to this, our 100th video. Yes, who could believe we're still here, 100 videos on. But thank you for continuing to support Pilates by Physiotherapy and enjoy your Pilates. So I hope you enjoy this special 100th session down on your mat, and as always, exercise within your limits. So we're going to start in lying. Head on your towel, collarbones long, shoulders away from ears, arms relaxed by your side. Hips, knees and feet in their tram lines, and centres gently set. So taking a moment this morning to feel your position on the mat. There shouldn't be any tension in your hips or your knees. Shoulders relaxed. Centres very gently engaged. And weight even between your feet. We'll float the arms up to 90 and we're going to do windmill. So take one arm back behind you, one arm down beside you, take them round and back up. So stretching back, reaching round, waking up the shoulders, focusing the mind as the arms are moving in different directions. Nice big circle. Come back to the center. So if your right arm went back first, to start with, we'll take the left arm back this time and round. Reaching back overhead. Feels a bit harder for me when I do it this way. My right arm doesn't seem to like to go that way. Nice big stretch. Keep breathing. And come back to the center. And rest. So centers engaged, arms up at 90. Remember, collarbones long, shoulder blades melting down your back. So your hands are wide. Chin tucked in. I'm going to float the hands up to the ceiling and then slowly let go. So drawing the shoulder blades round the ribs, reaching the fingertips up to the ceiling and then slowly let go. Let that release happen slowly and we should feel some of the tension in your shoulders and upper back releasing. Feel what it feels like. If you like to do it quick, you don't get as much release for most of us. Let's see what works for you. A slow stretch up to the ceiling and a slow let go, shoulder blades back onto the mat. So reaching away, the shoulder blades lift away from the mat. And as you let go, let those shoulder blades come back down onto the mat. Breathing nice and evenly. And then we'll take one hand up and let it go. And the other. So chin tucked in, reaching from hand to hand. So you might feel a bit more stretch between the spine and the shoulder blade when you just do one shoulder. Keep breathing, knees in their tram lines. Swapping from arm to arm, getting a nice stretch and a release. A stretch and a release. One more each side, stretch and release. And stretch and release. Well done. And we're going to come down into shotgun. Trying to open up the front of the shoulders and back up to 90. Nice open stretch. And back up to 90. Open across the front of the shoulders. Back up to 90. Open across the front of the shoulders. And back up to 90. Next time we're going to open across the front of the shoulders And then bring the elbows, the forearms and the hands together. Take the hands back over your head. So that's quite a strong stretch in the upper back. Down into shotgun. Elbows and forearms and hands together, hands overhead. And back to shotgun. Elbows, forearms and hands together. And back down into shotgun. And one more. Bring the arms together. Keep the elbows together as you try to reach over your head. And arms back down by your side. Well done. We'll clasp the hands together. Take them up to the ceiling. And then we're going to keep the pelvis anchored on the floor and turn the upper back, taking the shoulders over to one side. So keep the opposite hip down. So quite a nice stretch through the mid-back. So you should almost get over onto that as if you're lying on your side, but your pelvis is anchored back on the mat. Nice deep breath while you're there. And breathe out to return. And then come the other way. So your head might lift off the towel. Reaching your hands away, the pelvis stays anchored down. So if I'm turning to the left, my shoulders are turning to the left, that right hip is staying down on the mat. And come back to the center. One more each way. Roll. Nice deep breath. Using your breath to get a bit more stretch in the mid-back. Breathe out to return. Well done. Turning your palms away, we'll take the arms back overhead. Stretching back, ribs are down, center set. Push the palms away and come back up to 90. Palms towards you, palms away, take the arms overhead. Keep the ribs down. Abdominals have to work a little bit harder there if you're like me and you stiffen your shoulders. And come back to 90. And bring your arms back down beside you. So we'll bend the knees, take the hands behind the knees and hug them up to your chest. Nice cuddle up. So flattening the pelvis onto the mat, flattening the low back into the mat to hug the knees up. And then take your hands onto the top of your knees. Hug them right up close towards you and then take them over to your left. Push them away from you. Take them over to your right and then hug them up again close to you. So you're rolling across your back. Over to the side, away, over the other way, and back up towards you. So rolling around, nice circle. So you roll the low back across the mat, and then the pelvis across the mat. And come back the other way, hug up, roll around. Well done. And back to the center. And we'll hug the right knee up to your chest. Let the left leg go long away. Down through the mat. Stretching the front of the left hip. Take that right leg to tabletop. Arms are out to 90. Take the left hand onto the outside of the right leg and roll that right leg across. Getting a nice stretch through the spine. Head stays facing up to the ceiling. Letting your spine turn. Come back to the center and let's change sides. So hug your left leg up, right leg straight down the mat. Left leg back to tabletop, arms out to 90. Right hand onto the outside of the left leg and roll it across. Well done, nice deep breath. And back to the center. Lovely. So finding a nice rest position on the mat, shoulders away from ears, feet away from your bottom, centers set. Keeping the pelvis level, we're going to float one leg up to tabletop, keep the collarbones long as we lift the arms for some gentle patting. 5 pats for the in-breath. 5 pats for the out-breath. We'll rest the arms and change sides. So try not to feel any tension in the leg. The leg is light as it is floated up. No tension at the front of the hip if you can help it, so you're not gripping with that front of the thigh. Keep breathing. And ribs to pelvis, we'll come up to double leg. We'll do 5 pats with the hands down, 5 pats with the hands up. Engaging the abdominals a little bit more. Good work. If you want to make that a little bit tougher, let's come up into abdo prep. So lifting, if you can, your shoulder blades and your head off the mat. If that is too much strain on the neck, then just try lifting your head. Keep your chin tucked in and just lift your head. We're trying to move away from, if you can keep your hand, you have to keep your hand behind your head if you're really struggling, but you're really trying to keep that chin tucked in. So the neck will be doing some work, but not too much. Shouldn't be painful. Keep breathing. Shoulder blades up if you can. Reaching your fingertips down towards the floor. Well done. Resting the arms down, 1 foot to the floor, 2nd foot to the floor. Well done. So centers are set. I'm going to float one leg up to tabletop. Lengthen it away nice and long into single leg stretch. Bring it up towards a hamstring stretch. Pull your foot up towards you if you need to. Keep that leg straight as you lower it back down towards the floor and come back to the start. Change legs. So reaching the leg away. Bring the leg up so you're getting a good stretch. Pull your foot up if you want to get a bit more stretch. Now make sure the pelvis stays still as you take that leg down. Don't let the pelvis roll, the low back arch. As you bring the leg down towards the floor, come back to the start. Change sides. Nice and long away. Reaching the foot away. Try not to lock the knee too much. Lower the leg down. Come back to the start. Pull up, lower down, come back to the start. Arms relaxed by your side, lengthen away, come up, slowly down. So continue with single leg if you're finding that's a good challenge, or to make it tougher, we'll come up into double leg, lengthen the leg away, bring it up, lower the leg down, and come back to the center. So you shouldn't feel any strain in your low back when you're doing this one. It's all abdominals. So if your low back arches or feels under strain, then stick with normal single leg. Lowering the leg, lowering the leg down towards the floor. That's quite a challenge. Your hip flexors have to lengthen as your abdominals hold the pelvis still. Swap from leg to leg. Keep breathing. Good work. That's hard work on the abdominals. Feel the difference between the sides. So you might have one side tighter than the other, so it feels much harder. That's probably a tightness issue rather than a weakness issue. Good work. We're going to do one more each side. Come back to double leg tabletop. Bring one foot to the floor, second foot to the floor. Well done. centers are set. Going to come up into abdo prep. So either your shoulder blades and your head lifted, or just your head, or if you're really feeling a lot of strain in your neck, put your hand behind your head. We're going to bring up into single leg tabletop. And as you lengthen the leg away, we're going to put the head and shoulders down. Bring them back up. Hold your abdo prep as you change sides. Lengthen away. Bring it back. Change sides. So hold abdo prep, lengthen away. So you're lengthening away from both ends of your abdominals at the same time. Your head goes down as your foot goes away. Head comes up as foot comes in. Arms up off the floor if you can. Working those lower abdominals. You can all feel like it's around the bottom of your ribs. Well done. If you're happy with that and you want to make it a bit tougher, we'll come up into double leg or stay with single leg, whatever feels a challenge for you. So you're up in double leg in abdo prep, lengthen the leg away as the head goes down and bring it up. Change sides. Harder when you're in double leg. Get the shoulder blades up. One more each side. Well done. One foot to the floor, second foot to the floor. So that should have warmed you up. That feels like it's warmed me up. Well done. Centers set. Keep your collarbones nice and long. We're going to bring one leg up to tabletop. And we're going to dip that foot back on the mat for scissors. 5 on one side, 5 on the other. Keep breathing. And we'll come up into double leg. Ribs to pelvis, keeps the trunk nice and strong, and you'll swap from side to side. Foot tap slightly down onto the floor. Keep breathing. Well done. And rest. Good work. Lovely. So let's have you over onto your side. So this is quite a tricky sequence in side lying. We're going to draw the tailbone down, keep the waist long. Get a nice straight line, shoulders, hips, feet in line. So it's getting that waist long, so drawing the pelvis away from the shoulder to get the little gap between the mat and the waist. That will help you with your balance, keeping your ribs down. So if you're struggling for balance, keep the hand down. Otherwise, we're going to lift the leg to hip height and bring the bottom leg up to meet it. Bottom leg down, top leg down. Soft knee, so try not to grip with your thighs. Keep that little gap between the mat and the waist when you come up. That's the tough thing. So as you lift that bottom leg, you might find you're losing the gap between the mat and the waist. If this feels too difficult, then if you've got a block or a cushion, you could bring that top leg in front. Don't let that pelvis roll forward and lift the bottom leg. The lift of the bottom leg is the important part of the exercise. So if you don't feel you're lifting it with two legs out straight, have the top leg bent. Yeah, and you'll get there in time. Good. So keep going with that if that's the level you're at. Okay, so from there, everybody else has a rest. You're going to bring the top leg up, bottom leg up to meet it. Hold the top leg still as the bottom leg goes up and down. So keep the legs straight, don't have them bent in front of you. Lovely, we'll have a little rest. So keep that waist long, top leg up, bottom leg up to meet you, bottom leg up and down. Keep breathing. Well done. And rest. Trying to make sure you're not gripping too much with your head. You might feel your neck tightening up a little bit with these ones. So just make sure you stop and start again. We're going to bring the top leg up, bottom leg up to meet it. The top leg's going to go up and down this time. Keep breathing. And rest. So you might be feeling that in your glutes at this stage. One more set. Top leg up, bottom leg up to meet it. Top leg up and down. Well done. Bottom leg down, top leg down. Give that buttocks a good tap. Well done. Let's change sides. Always got a favourite side, no doubt. So arm towel head again, nice and long. Tailbone drawn well down. Ribs and waist long. So take that pelvis away from the ribs. Get that little gap between the mat and the waist. Nice straight line. Top leg up, knees soft, bottom leg up to meet it. Well done. So again, if you struggle to get that bottom leg up, you should definitely have daylight between that bottom leg and the mat. If that's too much, put the block or the cushion in front of you and have the top leg bent and resting on that block. Well done. Good work. Keep the ribs down. Last one. Well done. And then top leg up, bottom leg up to meet it, bottom leg up and down, getting it up off the floor. Top arm relaxed if you can, down on the mat in front for balance if you need to. Have a little rest. Try not to grip with your head. Top leg up, bottom leg up and down. Well done. And rest. Lovely. And then the last one of the sequence. Top leg up, bottom leg up to meet it. Make sure that bottom leg is up and then top leg a bit higher. Arm down for balance if you need to, but really trying to pull that waist away from the ribs to keep your length. That'll keep your balance. Keep breathing. Well done. One foot down, second foot down. One more set. Tailbone well drawn down. Feet back in a straight line. Bottom hip well underneath you. Make sure that bottom hip is stacked. The top hip is stacked on top of the bottom hip. That bottom hip isn't in front. Waist long, we're going to lift the top leg to hip height, bring the bottom leg up and then top leg higher. No gripping with your head. Well done. One foot down, second leg down. Well done. Give that buttocks a good tap. Lovely. So let's come on to our 4-point kneeling position. Hands a little bit in front of shoulders, knees under hips. Hover the breastbone away. Weight even between the hands and the knees. So just sway if you need to from your knees to your hands. Feel the difference when you have more weight back in the knees, more weight forward in the hands or back to the middle. Abdominals strongly engaged. And we're going to tuck the tailbone under and arch up. Chin down on your chest. Bottom in the air, walk those vertebrae down through the mid-back, through the upper back, head comes up. Chin on your chest, stretching up. Draw the tailbone down to get a nice stretch. Bottom in the air, come the other way. Chin on your chest, arch up. Well done. Walking through the vertebra, stretching up, getting some nice movement. Bottom in the air, walk down. Come back to the middle. So at this point you can choose whichever level you feel you are at. So keep the center strong. We're going to lengthen the opposite arm and leg away. 5 on one side, 5 on the other. Try not to let the back arch. If you're very confident with that and you've been doing Pilates for quite a while, tuck your toes in underneath you, keep your neck long, keep your weight back in your legs and your abdominals as you hover the knees. Well done. This is a good one for getting a bit more weight through our arms, which is important. We don't do a lot of that in Pilates, but really good way of strengthening our shoulders is to do a bit of weight bearing through the arms. But try when you're doing this one, make sure you're not shooting forward, yeah? So just judge where your eyes are between your hands and that shouldn't change, yeah? Your head shouldn't go forward. So if you're a bit weaker in your abdominals, you'll push forward onto your hands too much. Up and down at your pace. Hopefully your toes are okay with this. That's the other reason people don't like this, is they don't like tucking their toes in underneath them. But again, if you can, it's a good stretch for the toes. Our toes don't often get stretched in that direction, so it doesn't do them any harm. As long as you've not got very arthritic-y toes. And if you have and they don't like it, then I wouldn't force it. Well done. So if you're doing swimming, opposite arm with opposite leg, 5 on one side, 5 on the other, you can then hold the arm up, keep the leg out and bend the knee. So holding that diamond lengthened position, 5 on one side, 5 on the other. Yeah, so you stretch the arm and the leg away from each other, bend the knee, taking the heel to the bottom. 5 on one side, 5 on the other. Good for the stamina, that one. So those of you doing hover, if you want to go a little bit further, you can go into plank. So take your hands a bit further forward, tuck your toes in underneath you, hover and then straighten the knees. Again, your shoulders don't go in front of your wrists. I'm missing not having my mirror to look in there. I hope I'm in the right place. So hover and straighten. So your shoulders and your hips stay level. You don't want your bottom up too high. We're not in yoga, but you don't want your bottom sinking. Yeah, so a straight line from the shoulders to the hips. Holding your plank for maybe a count of 5. Keep breathing, so make sure you're not holding your breath. Well done. So hover and straighten. To come out of that, bring your knees back down. A couple more. Swimming, you're still swapping your sides every 5. Well done. One more. Challenge yourself if you can, stay up there a little bit longer. Then bring the knees down, bottom onto your heels, and have a nice stretch down. So if you want to go over onto your back and hug your knees up onto your chest, if you don't like being in this position, that's fine. Well done. Lovely. So take your time. Let's tuck your toes in underneath you and stack back your vertebra back up into standing. So tuck the toes in underneath you. Tuck your tailbone down. Try and visualize those vertebrae bone by bone, stacking back up, bringing you up into standing. So finding a nice posture in standing. Even weight through each foot. Feel the weight between the heel and the ball of the foot, and even from the big toe across to the little toe in the ball of the foot. Knees are soft, centers set, shoulder blades melting down your back, balloon is floating you nice and tall. Well done. And we're going to turn and go into a stride stand now. So left foot forward, right foot back. Making sure the pelvis is still facing forward. So don't, if I take my right leg right back as far as I can, my pelvis is now on an angle and my pelvis is facing off that way. So the whole pelvis is twisted and my back will have twisted. Yeah, so we're trying to keep that the pelvis stays facing forward. So for me, it's about there. Okay, a little bit of a stretch in the back leg. So from there, we're going to bend the front knee. Well done, and straighten. So just keeping the weight even when you bend that front knee and straighten. So as you're getting used to bending the knee and not throwing your weight forward. Yeah, so keeping the weight, keeping the spine upright and just bending and straightening the front knee. Yeah, making sure that you can do that without really keeping your center strong so you don't really change your weight very much. Lovely. So with the straight knee, we're going to lift the heels. Bend the front knee, keeping the back leg straight so the back heel will go down towards the mat. Heels down, straighten the front knee. Lift the heels. Bend the front knee. Low as you can, keeping that back leg straight. Heels down, straighten the front knee. Lift, even weight through the ball of each foot now. Bend that front knee, keeping the back leg straight. Heels down and straighten. Well done. Lift. Think of that balloon floating you taller. Arms relaxed. Bend that front knee. Back foot sinks towards the floor. Heels down, straighten both knees. Well done. Lift. Bend. Heels down. One more. Lift. So you're finding that that's too difficult from a balance point of view, you might need to just take your feet further apart. So don't have your feet in their tram lines, have them wider apart. Let's change legs. So right foot forward, left foot back. Weight even on each foot. Tailbone well drawn down, pelvis level. So just bending and straightening that front knee to start with, to get the feeling of what it's like to bend the knee without throwing your weight forward. Yeah, so for some people, as soon as they bend the knee, their shoulders will want to go forward. Whereas you're keeping your shoulders in line with your hips, you're keeping your shoulders back. Feeling the difference between the knees. Feels harder on this side for me. Not got such good knee control. Making sure when you do this that your knee doesn't lock back really quickly It's slow bend and a slow straighten. You should feel your control. The knee doesn't snap back. Yeah, so it's not a snap back. Yeah, good. And then we're going to have 2 straight knees. Lift your heels. Bend that front knee, keep the back leg straight. Heels down and straighten. Lift. Bend that front knee, keeping the back knee straight. Heels down and straighten. Well done. Lift. Weight even across the ball of each foot. Bend that front knee. Heels down to straighten. Good work. So your head position doesn't change very much. Might go forward a little bit, but it's really mainly going up. Keeping that front knee in line with the second toe. Arms relaxed by your side. So lift, bend the front knee, heels down, straighten. One more, lift, bend, heels down and straighten. Well done. So let's go back to the first side. Left foot forward, right foot back. Pelvis facing forward. We're going to try and keep our heels lifted this time. So if it feels too much, stay with what we were doing. Remember, feet further apart than in their tram lines if you feel it's too difficult. If it's easy, bring your feet closer in together from a tram line point of view. So it'll be back behind you, but it's almost on a tightrope. So keep the pelvis facing forward. Tailbone well drawn down, abdominals engaged. Lift the heels, bend both knees, heels down and straighten. So lift, bend, heels down, straighten, lift, bend, heels down, straighten. Low as you can go, that your knees will allow. So for some of you, it's your knees are your limiting factor. Keep that front knee out in its tram line. You can see what your back knee's doing as well. That wants to be out in its tram line. So neither knee is rolling in. So our glutes are working hard. Well done. Last one. Well done. Let's change sides. Feet in their tram lines or a little bit further apart if you need to for balance. Car headlights facing forward. Lift. Bend both knees. Heels down and straighten. Lift. Bend. Low as you can go. And is it your front knee or back knee that limits you? Or is it the same knee, whichever position you have it in? It's the same knee that catches you. Weight even across each foot. Keep breathing. Well done. Last one. Lovely. And rest. Well done. So feet further than hip distance apart and out to 10 to 2. Tailbone well drawn down. Collarbones long. We're going to bend the knees. Turning again, those knees out over the second toe. Bottom drawn down. Don't let your shoulders go forward. Squeeze the glutes to come back up. Squeeze to come back up. So using your glutes to power you back up. Well done. Well done. And come back in, feet in their tram lines. You probably keep your feet turned out for this next one. So you're going to take a step out, do a squat, straighten back up and come back in. Stay on the same side, so step out, squat, straighten, come back, step out, squat. So when you do that squat, your weight is even on both legs, straighten up and come back. So don't keep your weight, don't throw all your weight onto the leg you've stepped out with. The temptation will be to step, to squat more heavily onto that leg, squat straight down, even weight, and come back. Step, squat, come back up and come in. Well done. And then we're going to change sides. So step, squat, come back up and come in. Step, even weight, back up and come in. So just see what's tempting for you. Are you tempted to throw your weight onto that leg that you've moved? Or keep it nice and even? Well done. One more. Lovely. So back to our first side. We're going to step out and squat. Keep in that squat position as you come back. Step out with straight knees, squat. Keep your squat as you come back. Step out, squat. Keep your squat. So you're working that still leg a little bit harder. Step out, squat. Come back in your squat position. So step out, squat. Come back in the squat and straighten up at the end. Step out, squat. Come back in your squat position, straighten up at the end. So trying as much as you can to stay down in your squat as you come back. Easier said than done. Step, squat, come back, straighten. Step, squat, come back and straighten. Last one, step, squat, come back and straighten. And let's change sides. Well done. Heart rate might be going up a little bit now. Step, squat, stay squat as you come back and straighten. Step, squat, stay squatted till you get back. Feel the difference between the sides. Squat, stay squatted, come back. Step, squat, stay in your squat as you come back. Step, squat, stay down, come up. Well done. Lovely. And we'll go back to your first side. And we're going to step. And we're going to squat. And then try straightening that squat, that one leg that you've stepped onto. And take it back behind you and bring it forward. Take it back, bring it forward. So you're trying to take that leg as far back as you can, keeping down in the squat position if you can. Squeeze those glutes behind you. Not particularly elegant exercise for some. And rest. And come back up. And we'll go the other way. Step out. Squat. Stay down in your squat. Straighten the leg you've stepped out with and take it back behind you. Trying to hold your squat position. Keep that squat leg turned out. So you're working hard in that standing leg glute and also the leg that you're taking back behind you. Well done. And rest. Come back up. Lovely. Feet back in their tram lines. One more squat exercise and then we've worked our glutes. So we're going to step out and we're going to squat. And then you're going to try and lift that foot and come in. So step down and squat, lift and come in. Step down and squat, lift and come in. So step, bend your knee, come back in. So that standing leg is working hard now. Going as quick as you can, keeping your balance. Keep breathing, shoulders relaxed. Well done. 2 more. Good. And let's change sides. I'm going to step out, squat, and lift, and come in. So step, lift, and come out. Squat, lift, and squat, and lift. Squat, and lift, and squat. Harder on one side than the other. Try and keep, if you can, your squat position. If you can't, then come up every time. But if you can, try and hold that squat position. Well done, a couple more. And rest. Well done. So let's find a nice position in standing. Feet hip distance apart. Knees are soft. Centers set. Feel that balloon floating you nice and tall. Shoulders, blades melting down your back. So from here we'll just do a little hamstring stretch. So taking the right leg in front and as if you're going to sit down. Don't rest your hands onto that bent knee. Just getting a nice stretch through the right leg. You can pull your foot up towards you. If you would prefer to get down on your mat and do hamstrings in lying, then feel free. I'm just adding in a bit of variety, do it in standing. Shoulders relaxed. And if you can, we're going to do glutes in standing. So if you find this is a bit tricky on the balance, you can either hold on to a piece of furniture or go down onto the mat and do it in lying. So taking your right foot across onto your left thigh and then bending in the middle as if you're taking your bottom backwards as if you're going to sit down. Keeping your back nice and straight. Okay, soft peach between the chin and the chest. If I do it from the side, then you'll see what I'm doing. So your bottom is going down. So if you need a wall or a piece of furniture to hold on to, get a nice stretch, trying to sink your bottom down to the floor. Keep breathing, shoulder blades melting down your back, collarbones long. Good stretch around the back of that right hip, buttock. Well done, and we'll swap sides. Into that sitting position. Try not to weight bear on your legs, hands onto your legs. Sinking low. Well done. And both feet back onto your mat, onto the floor. So let's find a nice posture. Weight bearing evenly through each foot. Knees are soft. Centers set. Feel that balloon floating you taller. Clasp your hands together, push the palms away. We'll take a nice deep breath as we stretch up to the ceiling. And breathe out to return. Turn the palms away. Nice deep breath. Reaching the palms up to the ceiling, stretching up as high as you can. And breathe out to return. One more, palms away, reaching up. Stretching up to the ceiling, keeping the ribs down, center strong. And come back down. Well done. Just one final little exercise to finish off with, keeping your pelvis still. We're going to take a shoulder forward and roll it, and then bring the other shoulder forward. So your pelvis is staying still, but you're rolling your shoulders, turning your upper back as if you're swimming. Head stays facing forward. Yeah, reach forward with the arm and then scooping it back. Lovely. Keep breathing. And then let's go the other way. So back with the shoulder. So figure of 8. Yeah. Well done. And rest. Lovely. So centers engaged. Think of that balloon floating you nice and tall. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that 100th video. It's been quite a journey, and thank you all who are still switching on and keeping up with your Pilates. I know you're sure you'd feel better like I do after you've gone through a session. It is worth keeping going. I'm sure our strength and our flexibility is much better because of our practice on the mat. So take care everybody, and see you soon.